Hello, Internet. It is I, a kid they called Fury, back again to do the thing that I do called Furious Thoughts. I'm very excited to be back. As you might be able to tell, I'm quite a bit aged since we began this foray into internet commentary. Time's been an interesting thing for me. As I've been getting older and older and working more and more, I'm a lot more sensitive about how I spend my personal time, my recreational time, my me time, if you will. And that me time usually consists of Cool Ranch Doritos, long sessions of video games, preferably the action RPG kind, and scratching my dog. So when you niggas are talking about Love Island, Labubu's, TikTok, and Candace Owens, I have nary a living fucking idea what you're talking about. And I preferred it that way. However, as an individual who communicates for a living, I suppose I should figure out what the fuck is going on in the world again. So that's the plan. Furious Thoughts, the podcast, is all about me returning to form. Getting back into the mind and soul of that plucky young butch queen who thought that she could do whatever the fuck she wanted to do. Nobody could beat her ass. And for whatever reason, she wore a lot of plaid button-downs from Macy's. Not sure what that was about. Either way, she's back in my heart. And we're going to do some familiar shit, picking apart life and my thoughts, and some brand new shit, which is just basically me being old and hoping that you will help me figure out what's going on in the world so I don't feel like Patrick Star every day. Patrick Star lives under a rock. And he's fat. And stupid. So, you got it. Let's start! Okay, so this first one I want to send out to all of my gay male friends and family. Turn the fag down in public. Turn it down. There's no reason that you have to be RuPaul and Stimpy every single time that you meet a straight person because you are severely lacking validation and affection that you got or that you needed as a child. You don't have to shablam or death drop or whatever other incorrect word you use for a dip. You don't have to do all that shit. You don't have to tongue pop. You can't. You don't have to just be a stark raving homosexual in like a tap dancing nature. You say hello. You can talk about the weather. You can talk about your favorite meal at the Cheesecake Factory. But oh my God, they still ain't voting for you, bitch. You don't even vote for you. Calm down. You look crazy. We look crazy. I'm over it. I'm over it. I don't know if you need to take a break from World of Wonder. I don't know if you need to take a break from drag brunches. I don't know what the hell you queens need to do except calm the fuck down. And I'm gonna start saying out loud in public. You can't beat my ass. Why did the Golden Girls have so many fat jokes in that series? Not only were none of those women anywhere near fat, one of them would call, let's say, Blanche Devereaux a fat ass or something because she eats Oreos or something, and in the very next scene, she'd be in a leotard looking like Scarlett Johansson, tap dancing and doing splits and shit. So what was the purpose of that lie? What was the purpose of that lie? All of those women were gorgeous. Was it just a writing thing from the time? They just call any woman with skin fat? Or is it, what happened? I think we should discuss that. That always really confused me. Oh, you're so fat. Oh my God, I put on 5 pounds. Oh my God. You know who's fat? Me. You know who's golden? Almost me. So I just feel like, what other white lies have there been on television? Still a great show. You should watch it if you haven't. It's iconic. If you send me a voice note and it is over 60 seconds long, I didn't read it. I didn't listen to it. I took no part in it. Actually, you know that because I believe that if I did listen to it, it would tell you or it would delete or something. It's 2 months later and that bitch is still in our chat. I ain't hit nothing. Keep, leave, nothing. I'm not listening to that. Because why didn't you do a very classic, vintage, sickening thing called calling? Calling. Baby. Honey, we evolved from the telegram where some white man will come up to your door and say, hey, need more milk and eggs, stop. Also, buy bacon, stop. Also, I have another wife, stop. We evolved from that and then got to picking up the phone, wrapping the cord around your neck, and then just talking for hours, which was really cunty. Then I got a Nokia phone in high school and got Snake and text messaging. Fun. You don't always have time to have a full conversation. You just send some words. What is a voice note? And like, I can see how it can be convenient here and there. But baby, when you start walking me down your family tree and you take a fucking break about how your great-great-grandmama walked the Underground Railroad, I'm like, we could have just called, you could come over and we could talk about this. It sounds deep. Stop sending me these fucking lengthy ass Deathly Hollows Part 2 ass voice notes, bitch. I'm not gonna listen to it. I'm not going to listen to it. Thanks. This one is also for the gays, specifically for the tops in the audience, or those of you who claim top. I'm not gonna argue with you today. I want you to remember, I want you to know, I want you to acknowledge, I want you to rest in the fact that fleeting for no reason is an unforgivable. If I rinse out, if I irrigate my system for you to come over and penetrate my body, and then you're like, oh, I forgot I have jazzercise and I have to also go pick up my 3 cousins, I'm not gonna make it. You should go to jail. And your 3 cousins should be in foster care. But no, you should be arrested. Or at the very least, I should sue. Are you stupid? I'm mad that I feel like I even have to say this. I feel like I probably said this on Furious Thoughts when I lived at my mama's house. It has not changed. And neither have you niggas, unfortunately. Get it together. Bitch, all you have to do is wash your dick and ass. And a lot of y'all don't even do the ass. Wash your dick, balls, brush your teeth. That's your lesson. That's your plight. I'm over here on the fucking set of Waterworld. And you want to talk about, oh, my bad, they just reopened a Blockbuster in my neighborhood and I want to go check that out. Fuck you. Or not fuck you, I guess. I was watching Eddington, this new Ari Aster Western. This is the way that my mind works. Maybe about halfway through the film, for whatever reason, I had a thought in my head in the theater that was like, I wonder who Woody from Toy Story would have voted for in the last election. Cause like the obvious says he would have went red, but I kind of feel like he would have voted Kamala. Buzz is for sure MAGA. Like that's just out of the question. But like, I wonder who, maybe Woody would have been like, I don't know. Maybe he wouldn't have voted. Bo Peep would have made him vote. But see, I feel like Bo Peep would have voted Trump. Rex is for sure voting Kamala. He's gay. And then I would probably say the same thing for Slinky, gay. And Ham, gay. I feel like everybody else is gay. All the other toys. Little aliens, gay. Like everybody. I'm just actually coming to this realization. For those of you who work out, who go to the gym and stuff like that, I'm gonna say this out loud because I know that there are many signs, but I also know many of you can't read or don't. So I'll say it out loud. Wipe down the gym equipment after you use it. How did you niggas survive COVID? I don't even understand how, like, plague after smallpox after, and you nasty bitches are still here. Why would you think I want to do hamstring curls in a puddle of your sweat? There are wipes, there are napkins, there are towels. When the aliens get here, we're fucked because we don't have like we don't have like a nature in us to work together. It's gonna be everybody for themselves. And I feel like people would still loot B&H video or some shit like that. Like, we're stupid. We're stupid. I just rewatched Independence Day for the first time last week. And I forgot about that scene where that white lady who worked at the news place was like, oh yeah, I'm going to go on top of the highest building in the city and with a poster board that say, hey, welcome aliens. We're going to Mickey's or whatever. Like, and then they blew all them hoes up. It was like, y'all would do that. You would. If the alien sent out like a Silver Surfer that said Galactus is coming and fuck your shit up or whatever, y'all bitches would literally throw a block party outside of Wally World and invite him. I don't want to live here. I don't feel like it's fair that I have to. Anyway, I don't remember where I picked up this interesting fact. I Googled it. I'm very interested in why there are only 20 or 22 states in the US that have waste to energy plants. If there's 75 waste to energy plants in the US, I feel like at least 40 of them bitches need to be in downtown Los Angeles. So I feel like we could be doing more on that front, but I'm also not a scientist, so I don't know how that works. I just feel like, hey, taking trash and turning it into power seems smart since there's a whole lot of trash around. Throw JD Vance in there, throw Kellyanne Conway and Secretary of Education. Just a thought. White people in the club, specifically white people in the clubs in West Hollywood, because y'all are the worst white people in the club. I push you specifically. Like, I don't push any other people, but if you're in the way, I'm going to push you. I'm going to push you. I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to say, excuse me. And you are never going to do anything about it. So I just thought that that's something you should know. I did see you. I didn't care. Sometimes I feel like I should have waited longer to come out so that I could have like capitalized off the attention and disingenuous support. But I fag hard. Like, I fag really hard. I've been doing it since I was a baby, so there was that wasn't an option. But I feel like I missed out on a bag. I do. Look at Frank Ocean. He didn't even work no more. That nigga so rich. He knew what to do. Yeah. Oh well, here we are. Have you ever been in a hotel room with a phone that worked? Why do I feel like every hotel that I've ever stayed in, there's something wrong with the phone? Do they just go get them out of like a bin out in the back of a Staples or something? I've been at nice hotels, mind you, and it's maybe I just don't know how to work them. Because hotels be having them old school, like office cubicle phone, like, you know what I mean, with the speaker and 3 different lines and several other buttons and a calculator. And that's probably why it gets tricky. Because, I mean, phones don't even have buttons now. It's just... Isn't that weird? Phones don't have buttons anymore. It's just a block of glass and metal. I miss buttons. And there's something satisfying about pressing a button and it goes in and there's an action to it. This is nothing. This is nothing. And then if you're in the hood, this screen is trash. It looks like Angela Bassett Waiting to Exhale took to it. Everybody phone in the ghetto broke, right? And you don't have the money or the means all the time to go and fix the goddamn phone. Because fixing an iPhone screen, if it has just a tiny fracture in it, is $1,500. So now your hand is hemorrhaging blood at just an astonishing rate because you swiped right. I don't remember what I was talking about. This one is for the saints. We're saved and sanctified, but also a little hood adjacent niggas in the room and in the chat. I can't verbalize how exhausted I am of the Never Would Have Made It Shrillville remix. I don't know which one of you You did an amazing job, so no shade. But I don't know which one of you thought Let Me Mix Some Cut by Trillville with Never Would Have Made It a gospel record. I hear it, I think, every single time I go to a social event. And it perplexes me in a way that I find incredibly fascinating, because on one hand, I feel like I should be offended, but on the other hand, it is just my type of carrying on. I think I needed to stop, because I'd like to make it to heaven, but it's not looking good. So let's work on a different mix, please. Thank you. What is up with niggas and subtitles in movies and television? If somebody posts an Instagram caption that has 3 sentences in it, you bitches be like, I'm not reading all that. But if I put on Die Hard, it's like, oh, turn on the subtitles. It helps me hear better. Bitch, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Personally, and I'm not judging anybody. Well, I guess I am. But personally, unless it's a foreign language film or something, a language I don't understand, subtitles feel like they're in the way. I want to see the pictures and things. You niggas like subtitles not because you're struggling to hear anything, but it just brings you comfort. And I actually would love an explanation, because I don't understand. I don't understand. You can't spell. You put M's in Valentine's. You put 2 O's in lose. Is that why you want to? I mean, maybe it's like Duolingo. I'm gonna leave y'all alone. If I forgot your birthday this year, I'm old, and bitch, you probably older. So suck it up. Here's to many more. God bless. Okay, so those of us in the passivo category, for my Brazilians, we love pussy compliments. We love when our partners compliment the puss and how great it is. But how many of us are open to pussy criticism? When the last time that you've had somebody say, hey, tighten things up down there. Could use a wash. A little more enthusiasm. And you were just as receptive. Things to think about. You know, make it the best experience that you can. Unless you fleeted for no reason for this nigga at some point, because at that point, he get the pussy he get. It's lucky that you even invited his ass back. Fuck him. But in other cases, you know, 50-50, give and take, no pun intended. A quiet fear of mine is that one day I'll be so in my head and not paying attention that I'll be caught singing a really trash song out loud. Like, I'll just be walking home from Ralph's with my headphones on and singing Fat, Juicy, and Wet by Bruno Mars and Sexy Red, and turn to my left and see someone in a car at an intersection like, yeah. Sometimes I'm just like, just sing it in your head. I use that song as just an example for you to I would never be caught living, dead, or in between listening to that song, much less singing it. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. If you ever see this face and body jamming to Fat, Juicy, and Red, or really any Sexy Red song, clone, Spectre, Ghost, Elon Musk robot, Cybertruck. It's not me. I wouldn't do it. Something to think about. Oh yeah, I like to quickly remind the world that woke, the term woke, is not for most of you. It really isn't for most of you. Ain't even none of y'all goddamn business. Most of you are using it incorrectly. And I'm tired. I watched the South Park episode this week where they used woke. But that was funny. So I have an incoming thought. about our things in terms of vocabulary anyway. We'll get to it. But I just wanted to, because I've said this before, woke ain't got nothing to do with you bitches. You're using it incorrectly. And most of you who have a problem with woke this and woke that need all the woke you can get, because you are dumb as all outside. I mean, wide open stupid. Y'all bitches are remedial. So I would suggest a little bit of street education, but you know, I guess keep voting for tangerine colored dumbasses that are very, very, very surely on that Epstein list, who are going to do absolutely nothing but make you broke and tired. Also, fuck Elon Musk until he invents something to kill mosquitoes. Bitch, if you don't have, like, I don't understand you inventing cyber trucks that look like fucking Nightwing and the Red Hood and Batgirl would ride in it, bitch. Like, do you know the mission mosquitoes have been on lately, especially in the South? Do something about that, bitch. Otherwise, I don't give a fuck what your fake South African ass is talking about. You can beat it. He can beat it. All of Trump ugly ass kids, Ivanka, Bannon, Barron, Bishop, whatever the fuck his name is, all of them hoes can go. Go. You know, I started doing Furious Thoughts when I was like maybe 19 years old, living in my parents' house. And that young Fury was so plucky and energetic and confident and so tapped in to all of the trends and platforms, and he was editing and photoshopping and coding and doing all of these things. Now my old fat ass is tired. You know, I've been all around the country working, doing really, really cool and amazing things, and I've sort of just parked myself into the things that bring me comfort, like I said, which are video games, my dog, and my solitude. But I'm on a hardcore mission to return to that spiritual part of myself. I think that I'm really anxious. And I think I've been a little less confident about my ability to do this thing, which is a part of the reason why I've stepped back from it for a while. But now I'm like, well, don't none of you bitches know what you're doing. From entertainment to politics to cooking seafood, like everybody's just kind of freestyling. So what should stop me from doing the exact same thing? I am looking to this to be a return to form, an evolution, a recollection, and a constipation. So I hope that you enjoy following me on this new take on the old. This new chapter, this new journey, it's gonna be full of all kinds of fun new things. And I'm really excited to hopefully stand upright again and feel like I belong on Earth. Look at me doing a thing. Who knew? Not me, or whatever Paul Rudd and Sean Evans said. So I want to keep the original essence of Furious Thoughts alive here. It's gonna be rapid fire, extremely random thoughts that have been ping-ponging through my skull for however long. But I also want to explore the world today. I want to look into happenings around the country and the globe that could be funny or interesting, and also help keep me in the loop of the planet that I am living on. We will also have guest interviews, which I'm very excited about. I'm going to be sitting down and chatting with all sorts of people, and I want to do a similar thing with them where we discuss communication, where we are today, how we grew up through those things, how we see the world through these things today, and also why Beyonce is the greatest performing artist to live. and why Blue Ivy Carter is the second coming. You know. It's gonna be fun! And we are back to the Furious Thoughts podcast. Today we have a very, very, very special guest in the studio. I'm so excited and pleased to finally have her working with myself, doing the Kid Fury thing. I have been a friend of this beautiful woman now for a couple of years. I have admired her work ethic, grace, sex appeal, and humor. I'm talking about the one and only award-winning journalist. I'm talking about the one and only red carpet corresponding icon. President of the National Association of Black Journalists here in LA. This chapter. She's worked with NPR. She's worked with My Getting Grown sisters. You may have seen her on Variety. It's my girl, Shar Jossell.
How are you? Hi. Oh my God. What an intro. You got me over here blushing.
You deserve it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you for having me.
Thank you for agreeing to be here.
It's a nice
You
set.
and I met, I think I didn't even live here at the time, but I was invited to like a friend's lunch gathering sort of a thingy. I think it was maybe downtown. I think it was Jeff.
Maybe.
Was it?
I met you as a fan.
Did you?
Yes. Quick story. I have initially met you. We didn't get a chance to have a real conversation. You and Crystal were in Chicago 11 years ago when you all's live show tickets were like $25.
Right.
And you were in Chicago, and I went to the Reed live show. It was the first one that I'd been to. I think it was you all's first time touring.
I think so, yeah.
And the next day, that was like June 14th. I remember that because I moved to LA June 15th. So it was literally June 14th, the night of June 14th. I went to see y'all. And I remember like learning your story about how you like up and moved to New York. And I was like, I'm about to do the same thing. Like I leave tomorrow. I land in LA at noon. I didn't have any friends, any like housing. I was living in a hotel. And you gave me some very nice words. That's when we first met. And then I think we connected on the internet, and then I ended up seeing you. Like it wasn't too far down the line though. It was like 2017. I want to say we officially like connected.
Yeah,
and I was like, "Hey, girl, what's your number?" type thing.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, that's my fun story of when I first met you.
You just made such a strong impression on me because you were very funny. You were very reserved. You were very graceful. Like I said, I was just like, I want to get to know more about her. She seems like she's got her head on straight.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. And it's been smooth sailing ever since.
It has.
So how have you been?
I have been doing pretty well, all things considered. It's been a very interesting year, as you know. Very interesting timeline we're living in, but I've been doing pretty well.
Good. Yeah, it has been a very, very odd year. We were joking earlier about how it's like every day you said you got to wake up with one eye open because it's like, what bullshit is headlining today?
Yes.
And that's your job.
Yes.
Basically, keeping up with all of the fuckery.
And it's like a barrage, but I've had to take dramatic steps back.
Yeah.
Like dramatic steps back because I've just found myself like spiraling to a place that I'm struggling to dig myself out of now because it just doesn't seem like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Like even with political analysts, normally there was like an off ramp and like, well, at least we have this. And, you know, the Supreme Court could. And now everybody's just kind of like, well, girl, they're bulldozing.
Mary.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, I agree in a sense that I feel like that's exactly what this podcast is. I just went ahead and took so many steps back that I realized I existed in a world that was just corn chips and my PlayStation, and then singing like 702 covers to my dog.
Yeah.
She hates all of them.
Yeah.
But now I'm trying to come back out into this light, and I'm like, oh yeah, things are crazy. I guess I could laugh about it.
Yeah.
But this is the real world that I live in, and I'm a Black queer person, so...
This is our timeline in our 30s. Like,
right.
this is our timeline right now.
As a communication mass comm girly, what's like your opinion on the state of communication in general today?
My goodness. I'm scared. I'm scared, Fury. And the reason why I'm scared, and I talk to a lot of students, right? A lot of students that are like coming into journalism and communications and hosting and things of that nature. It's a lot to be scared about, but I still think that there are certain things that only a human can give you.
Yeah.
But we were already in a space where I knew we were in trouble when AI was writing our stories, and then there seemed to be a push for like influencers. And that's no shade to influencers, but influencers. And how many times have we seen influencers who are not experienced go viral for hiccups that they've made on the carpet or just too green, even in interviews saying the wrong thing? I can think back to award season where actual outlets, you remember the viral clip of the Associated Press with Babyface and Chappell Roan. And then the microaggressions thrown at Megan Thee Stallion at the Variety, I believe it was the after Oscars party. There's just a certain tact, there's a certain skill that an education.
And education.
And really locking in and studying the craft can give you versus if, you rise to fame doing a dance on TikTok and someone throws a microphone in your hand.
Right.
And pushes you out there. And so between the deep fakes, the AI, we now got AI influencers. Speaking of influencers, like their jobs are being threatened.
Right.
Because now you can custom tailor, Vogue just made headlines because they published in their physical magazine AI models.
Timbaland signed an AI musician.
Yeah, I know.
What?
So I'm a little nervous when you can engineer, when I know that for a fact, us being on camera right now, someone could engineer a clip and have us saying something that we did not say. And
well, I guess I just said it. But yeah.
And so, it's just we're in weird territory, the wild, wild west, no regulations, and people are going to get hurt.
Yes.
People are going to get hurt.
People are currently getting hurt, but it's like it's at that state now where I feel like a lot of people who are reveling in their own ignorance maybe don't feel it yet. Or are just glad they don't feel it yet. Mm-hmm. Oh, but baby, it's coming.
It's coming. I mean, even thinking back to the ICE raids in June, there were AI generated videos from that.
Yeah.
When I think about the fires in January, remember the Hollywood sign was on fire. That wasn't real, but it went viral. And so the media literacy is so low. Literacy is so low. And, people, we react to rage bait. People have an immediate reaction without doing the extra steps to confirm, to get context or even confirm if something is actually real.
And something that I'm also thinking about in terms of what you said about, stars who kind of rise to fame from different applications and things because, Scarlett took a tumble or something. We miss you, girl.
Iconic moment.
Iconic. Sometimes it really does take going, oh, this is going somewhere, let me train.
Mm-hmm.
I think about like Marilyn Monroe, for instance, when she like took a year or so off from acting, even though she was at the top of her game, she was like, oh, I'm eating this.
Yeah.
But I can be better.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go get some training.
Mm-hmm.
And then she started with Laurence Olivier or something. And so I think it can really just be about the person and the individual, but I don't know how many people at the table in these spaces are requiring that because it's about fast money.
Of course.
And that's what AI is.
Of course. And I totally agree with you. It's here, it's not going anywhere. So we have to learn how to work with it. Even though, corporate greed and CEOs, I think I wish I could remember the CEO, but he delighted in having AI replace jobs because AI doesn't form unions. AI does not take sick days. AI does not want a raise. So he's delighted to push out the workforce. And so I am concerned about what that looks like if all of our jobs, because AI can do just about anything. Yeah. So it's like, it's scary.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite app? Any kind?
A favorite app? No. Well, what I will say is I do. I'm so ashamed. That damn TikTok.
You like it?
I do.
Mm-hmm.
I do. TikTok is something I don't want to sound like extra cerebral, but like I used to try to like crank out like 50 pages a night. Like there's books that I read. I love physical books.
Same.
I will listen to an audiobook, like memoir, autobiography.
Oh, those are nice.
Yeah. I do not really like the Kindles, like the electronic. Like I prefer a physical book. And so I used to read at night to kind of calm myself down because at one point, I was
Same.
taking edibles to go to sleep. But it was like something about reading, you drift off and,
Feels classic.
yeah. And it feels good, really. Like I feel like I'm keeping my brain sharp and warding off any sort of Alzheimer's or dementia that might be down the line. Because I'm using,
No, that's right. Bitch.
connective tissues.
Yes.
I can imagine, this scene, And one night I picked up my phone instead and decided to just play with TikTok. And before I knew it, it was 4:30 a.m.
I still haven't had that moment. I don't know
Oh my
why.
God. That algorithm is unlike any other. It's unlike any other.
I'm going to, maybe this weekend, I'm going to make another serious attempt at TikTok because I have to get it.
Well, I see you post from time to time. You
But
just
yeah, that's
did
the thing. I'll just post it
Medea.
and then delete it. I mean, I will post it and then just get off
You
the
post
app.
and go.
Yeah, I don't really like look at anything.
Well, see, that's the trap.
Yeah.
That's the trap. And so I've had to be an adult and parent myself and say, Shar, we'll give it an hour. Or when I'm in that functional freeze, when you're overwhelmed, you got so much work and deadlines and I can't even eat or think. Sometimes I've got hopped on TikTok and it's been like, I don't know if you've had a day like this where you give yourself like certain benchmarks where it's like, it's like 4:30 and it's like, okay, I'm gonna give myself an hour.
Yep.
Then 5:30 hit, I might as well just try. I'm gonna try for 6:15.
Girl, I did that yesterday.
And so then it just takes up all the time. So TikTok is a favorite of mine because I've come across so many cool creators and gotten good ideas. And before that whole January 20th thing happened, TikTok was such a great search engine. You could literally type like things for a Black girl to do in Miami for a weekend and you get a library catered to like...
I'm really going to try. I've never used it as a search engine either. So I think maybe Crystal or someone mentioned it in that way and it didn't really process for me. But I will say or repeat that although I'm not big on TikTok, I don't have like an issue with it because I know, sure, there's like silly stuff and memes and jokes, but I do hear even like older relatives of mine who use it and it really is a solid source of information.
Yeah.
So although I don't get
it used to be a solid source of information.
Oh, okay, well now.
It's been modified. It's been tweaked after January 20th, but it used to be it's still good. It's just not the TikTok that we once had.
When did you join Twitter?
I joined Twitter March of 2009.
Because I can't remember exactly when the celebrities took over and made it a different thing. I remember when Twitter like launched. And it was maybe 2008. Something like that. And it kind of was just, from what I remember, it was niggas I followed on, I don't know, MySpace or wherever else. It's just being funny. Yeah. And it was just funny shit. And then Rihanna joined.
Yeah. Then Kim Kardashian joined.
And people were like, I
Oprah
can speak
joined.
directly to this famous person.
And I gotta say,
Elon Musk owns it.
Yeah, I gotta say, regarding Twitter, there's a really good documentary on HBO Max about the history of Twitter. But yeah, it is. It's like 3 or 4 parts. And then of course the Black Twitter doc on Hulu.
I was on that.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't want to throw that out there, but yeah,
that was fun.
I reviewed it for NPR. Thank you very much. But yeah, I miss that sweet spot and that accessibility. And Twitter, when it was legit, for me, it was my morning paper.
Yeah.
The real verifications and having access to certain people and journalists. I got so much work off of Twitter.
Yeah.
Just from being a verified like journalist, I got so many companies reaching out to me and sending me the golden age where I could say, oh, I haven't tried these chips. And then Frito-Lay's DMing me and sending me a box of these chips with confetti and
what's the chip that makes voodoo chips?
Zaps.
I tweeted once, I don't know how many years ago, something to the effect of oh baby, Zaps makes a mighty chip. It might have just been something that dumb and ghetto. They DM'd me and were like, we will send you
What's
a
your
box of
address?
every flavor.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, this is one of the nicest things that anyone's ever done. I ate every bag.
I got a sponsorship from Perrier Water because of Twitter. Like literally, like I loved the water. This was in my sparkling water era when I worked in reality TV. And they sent me water, and then I ended up doing a live show for a podcast I had at the time, and they sponsored the live show.
That is amazing.
Yeah. Didn't charge anything. They just wanted their name on the flyer, and they sent water for everyone, like for all the tickets that we had sold. So
And Twitter used to kind of be like what TikTok is now, I think.
Yeah.
Where people would get that information there.
Yeah.
It would be before CNN. It would be before anywhere else.
In real time, oftentimes. Yeah.
And now I go on Twitter and it's just like, at Grok, what is Nicki Minaj talking about? And
I have not been.
fun.
I still have my account because there's pride there.
Yeah.
There really is pride there. I'm like, Tamron Hall follows, Anna Navarro follows. Like, I got
Nostalgia.
some legit people that got me excited, you know. But I have not tweeted since November 13th. And I said, I'm headed to Blue Sky. And I've been on Blue Sky. I've been on Threads. It's not the same.
Yeah.
I have bias against Threads, which may sound ignorant, but my take is I follow you on Instagram. I don't care what you think. And so
that is so
merging.
fair.
I'm getting hot takes from old coworkers, from the Macy's cosmetics counter, from classmates, and it's like, I like what you look like. I don't care to know your politic on, you know, mashed potatoes and macaroni and cheese. So Threads it never stuck with me. Blue Sky's a little dry. I enjoy it, but it's a little dry. But nothing can replace Twitter. But I can't be on there now. It's so violent, and there's no guardrails. You could say good morning, and then you're called slurs for 6 days. Yeah.
With a check mark account.
With a verification of a verified account, it's coming. You can't report it. You can't. The accessibility is crazy. And I'll share a really quick story. There was a news station out here in Los Angeles that was under fire in June. Their account was hacked, and they tweeted out the N-word. So of course, NABJ. And NABJ LA is now involved in this, right? There's meetings being held. And what I found fascinating is in the midst of their investigation, they conducted an internal investigation. It was impossible to get in contact with X. So they did their due diligence where they traced, you know, and they couldn't find anything on their end. And I was like, I remember once upon a time being so accessible. You could just reach out to Twitter. They'd get back to you. It might take some time, but X is virtually impossible. Like, they're not returning calls. Even you can't get in contact with these people. Should something happen to your account or your character is assassinated. Yes, I have seen the new Superman.
X or Twitter now is just run by Elon and a parallel dimension of monkeys that just go mecha Hitler.
That really is. And the Lex Luthor character I felt was inspired by
1,000%.
by Elon for
1,000%.
sure. Yeah,
Lex is just smart.
Scary out there. Yeah.
How long have you been a journalist? How long have you worked in the biz?
Ooh, almost 20 years. So I did it in school too. I was like a student journalist. I wrote for the paper. In high school, we had a news program.
Come on, Moesha.
And yes, in high school, I was broadcasting live from the desk. I was not a reporter at girls volleyball. I was throwing to you from the desk. And so I've been doing it for a long time, but it didn't become a passion of mine until I went to college, and I needed something to do. And I thought that at the time I wanted to be this performer. And then, you know, adulthood sets in, and it's like, oh, I can't go to the Staples Center and say, I have a degree in music, time to put on my Beyonce show. So what are you going to do with your life? And I was like, I just locked into journalism. It was something that I always loved. I'm from Chicago, so inherently a huge fan of the Oprah Winfrey Show. She was the queen of the city growing up. Her and Michael Jordan were like royalty growing up in Chicago.
Yeah.
And and I love The View, and I love Wendy. I'm just a student of talk shows, but I also love like the local news anchors. And I love and so I was like, I'm going to lock in on this. And then I did my first internship, and I was like, yeah, I'm I think I want to do this.
I did broadcasting in high school too.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean,
I don't
look
know
at
how
you
much I
now.
opened. I think I've maybe talked about it once or twice.
I didn't know it.
I was in broadcasting in high school, and all we did was school sports and school news.
Yeah.
And I went to my teacher, Mrs. Fox, and I said, "Hey, Miss Fox, I hate this school and sports.
Mm-hmm.
Can I do like an entertainment segment instead?" And she was like, "Yeah, but you have to write and
You have
produce
to,
it
yeah.
yourself."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And she let me do it, and we had an entertainment segment for the first time at my high school, and I basically did what I do now.
That's your legacy.
Yeah.
Because do they still have it? Do you know?
Oh, I don't know if they still have it, but I don't think they kept doing it after
I
left.
did the linear news for the school. I never did sports or anything, but I did an entertainment segment in college and also learned a very hard lesson about doing thorough research. See, that's what that time is for, high school and college, when you're doing these things.
Exactly.
I remember I was doing like the Billboard charts and I was rushing. It's college, you know, like a sophomore. And Lettucey was on the charts and I just assumed Lettucey was a man. I had never heard her music. I saw the name and I did the whole live shot and I was like, and coming in, you know, at number 6 is Lettucey. He's knocking it out the park. He, him, he, him, he, him. And I learned a hard lesson that day. Don't open your mouth without doing your research.
So I want a quick.
And I said Ladisi. Gosh, it was all
a lot
bad.
of people
It was all
pronounced her
bad.
name wrong at the time. I want to know from you, a legitimate journalist, if you could break down for some of the people at home what that is. Because I think that some people who work in talk or maybe they do like entertainment news or something like that often fall into this self-constructed trap where they're like, oh, but I'm a journalist. But you aren't. Can you help them?
Yeah, I think when it comes to that, because these conversations are ever evolving, right?
Yeah.
I used to be this purist and this, you know, nose in the air. Excuse me, you are not a journalist, ma'am. You are a host, you know. And the way that I look at it now is journalism has such a broad umbrella because the definition it's like a living word. It's not a solidified word. It lives, it evolves, it shifts. And even I've learned some things along the way. But I think journalism is rooted in truth-telling. And I hate that, like, when I was in school, everything was about objectivity, but objectivity is still subjective depending on who you work for.
Yeah.
It still has a skew to it. And so I think journalism is about fairness, truth-telling, and there's just a code of ethics that goes, and I think that's the determining factor.
I would agree.
Because you can talk to anyone, but you have to make sure and check in with yourself that you're not exploiting people. There have been times I've had to check my bias. I pride myself on saying I can talk to anyone. I firmly believe I could talk to anyone. I could talk to that man in the White House. I could talk to his cronies. I could talk to anyone. I can ask the questions.
Yeah.
And I think that determines the weight of a journalist. Are you unafraid to ask the questions? For all the critiques with the Diane Sawyer, Whitney Houston interview, she asked the question. Same with Wendy.
Yeah.
Wendy is a journalist.
Yes.
You know, she asked the question. Now, did she always ask in the most tasteful and tactful way? No. But it's about making sure you get to the truth of the matter and you provide answers that you know that John Q. Public wants. So you ask those questions, you have those moments. But I think your approach, I think there's a training that goes with it, with how you set up a question. Are you an active listener, right? Or do you just got your 10 bullet points in your head and you don't know how to monkey bar and segue? And I think that if you hone in on certain skills, yeah, you can call yourself a journalist. But it's a wide umbrella. It's a very wide umbrella.
Such a good answer, and I feel like that's even a really good framing for me. Because it's fair to consider the fact that journalism is a living word. And it is an evolving occupation. But I think you hit, at least in my mind, you hit the nail on the head with the code of ethics part.
Yeah.
There is a style and an approach and an intent that comes with good journalism. And I would assume the huge part of that intent is getting the information that people want, right? If it was reported that you fell off of a cocaine mountain somewhere because you ain't have no sense, and now you're promoting a movie, journalism's going to ask you what happened on that mountain. Now, Wendy might be like, apparently.
So the cocaine, right.
She knows that this is what we want to know. That's a great way to look at it. Oh my gosh. Imperfect. I have read her to bits, but I miss her. Her
presence is definitely missed, especially in this particular era of pop culture.
Could you
imagine? My God.
Oh, I want to hear her talk about Trump. I want to hear her talk about Nelly and Ashanti.
Sean Combs.
I want to hear her talk about
that's a storied history with them. She would have been lighting it up.
God bless. How's dating in LA been for you?
Fury.
And has tech have the apps affected that at all?
So I'll answer this in bits and pieces.
Okay. And I'll answer too.
Okay, thank you. You got me out here talking about my personal life. So in the pandemic, I went on a date or two in the pandemic, which was also, but it was like dramatic. Like it was like if you put two tables in between us.
Yeah.
Because I was terrified of getting sick. I should also mention I was covering it. So I was like terrified of getting sick because I live alone. Right. And there were people that were suffering and sometimes dying alone in their 1-bedroom apartments. You know, I'm reading these harrowing tales of crawling to the bathroom because you ain't got no strength. And, none of my friends have a spare key. Like I was thinking worst case scenario because I was talking and reporting on this. But what I will say is that I started this thing like when I was on dating apps. I've not been on dating apps in years, but I would require some of the dates that I did, I did 2 in-person dates in lockdown, but there were a lot of people that just wanted conversation. And so I did some Zoom dates as well, and so I carried that with me. If I ever met a man online, like there's been guys that have talked to me on Instagram and stuff, I require, before we set this up, and go down to the restaurant and get the apps and the drinks, let me see, because I'm exactly who you see. I'm exactly who I say I am. Let me make sure. Yes, let me make sure. Also, it's a safety thing. If you could be who you say you are, but if the vibe is off, or if you're incapable of carrying a conversation, I've seen all I need to say, babe.
Yeah.
We're going to leave this right here. Thanks so much. My dating life has not been the best. But I mean, I've had some high moments and I've had some very, very low moments.
Yeah.
And I feel like I get comfort knowing that it's not unique to me. So for every, Black woman or trans person in LA that has found success, I'm using air quotes with that, success, there are 15 that's got the same story or similar. And I haven't even been through the worst of it. There's certain girls at the brunch and at the lunch that I'm talking to, and I'm like, girl, what? So it has been, it's been interesting. This landscape is interesting. The men, even the transplants, are interesting.
Yeah.
The desirability politics are interesting. And I've just seen, I have this thing, it angers the men, but I'm going to say in my lived experience, there have been men that I have pillow talked with where their ex-girlfriends, let's say they're from Miami or Chicago or whatever, and their ex-girlfriends, I see pictures of them and they look like me and Black women that I know. But there's a certain like strange, I don't know whether to call it like an assimilation to power, where when that plane lands, they're looking for Kim Kardashian. They're looking for Adrienne Bailon. And so that's what I look at. The example that I always use is what makes it inherently like homosocial, right? Is they want the girl, and some women date like this, but most women don't. But a lot of men want the girl where if you're at the barbershop and you want, let's say Chick-fil-A, and I'm bringing you the Chick-fil-A, they want the whole barbershop to say, damn, that's you.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of Black women don't get that reaction in this city. Adrienne Bailon gets that reaction. Kim Kardashian gets that reaction. And that is something that people don't want to talk about. But this is my lived experience, but it's also a million other Black women's lived experience. So
This
even
is
though yours
so
might be a little
true.
different, sis, this is also multiple truths can exist at one time.
This is not a rare truth, though. Like, this is absolute facts. I don't even know if I've heard anybody say that out loud or in a while, but that's true. I know
Yeah.
LA has its thing, and there are many other cities that are
Of
going to be very
course.
common, but you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Men do want the woman who's going to come into the barber shop, who's going to come to the basketball court or to the guys' night, and all the other dudes are like,
And you could
like,
be the baddest Black woman,
you could
but
be-
you're not going to, you ain't gonna get that reaction in LA. I'm sorry. And this is particularly, I should say, in relation to Black women seeking Black men as partners.
Yeah.
Because I have dated outside my race. And it ain't no better. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just an extra vetting
That's the
process
gag.
to make sure that you're not a monster.
Yeah.
And then even if he's not a monster, his family is.
His family is.
You know, like, I can think of this one guy who's Middle Eastern, who I went in my most romantic date ever in life. And, but during the date, he was like, his sisters and his mother would not like me. And I assumed that it had something to do with, you know, my gender and things like that. But no, it had to do with my Blackness. So it's so layered. He's like, yeah, there's this really nice, you know, Armenian steakhouse I want to take you to, but I can't walk in there with you on my arm with all them Armenians in there. It'd be controversial. So it's like, if I could tell you
know that and tell you.
Yeah, well, Fury, a date with Shar is they don't even know that they're being interviewed. I keep it so smooth. They don't even know that they're being interviewed. And what helps is so many men love talking about themselves. And I love listening to it because I'm learning everything. I'm determining exactly who you are. Go more into that. Finish the sentence. Donald Trump is. You know, like they don't even know that they're being waxed over by me. So it's interesting. But like I said, it hasn't been the best, but it also hasn't been the worst.
Yeah, I would say like a similar thing. I've had like ups and downs with it. I tried some of the apps when I got out here for a while. You know, went on a couple of like very cute dates. But yeah, nothing has...
It's shallow.
It's pretty shallow.
I think that there's a very specific personality type that's on the apps. And I'm hunting for... I want to meet cute.
Yeah.
I want to go to Costco and look up and we lock eyes and, you know, you approach. That's what I want. The apps do not appeal to me right now, especially... in this current climate. It is crazy on those apps.
It's wild.
And yeah, it's a mixed bag.
Yeah.
But we got to keep putting ourselves out there.
One more thing I wanted to ask you. I think that you would maybe have a really fire answer or response to this, because this is something that I've been thinking now for quite some time, especially with the rise of TikTok and things like that. I want our things back. And when I say our things, I mean specifically like our words, our terminology, our vocabulary, our voices. And I'm speaking about family. I'm speaking about queer Black folk. And I've noticed that with the rise in drag shows and all of these other things and being sort of a corporate commodity, things that we say have just become like jokey, fun chitter chatter for the world. And it doesn't stop anyone from being violent. It doesn't stop anyone from voting against us. It doesn't stop anyone from spitting in our faces. What do you think, as someone who uses communication and words as a career? How do you feel about the girls stealing our voices?
It's annoying because, of course, it's annoying. We're at intersections, right? So we deal with AAVE being rebranded to, what do they call it? Gen Z slang or something like that. TikTok slang. And it's like, no, Cynthia Bailey been saying child since she popped out the womb. Like, that's not unique. And it's always funny when it's like misused. Like the Justin Bieber meme. Are you not clocking what I'm trying to do? He did something that just did not make sense. But it's been annoying. And, you know, these conversations have been ongoing with the rise of reality TV and personalities like Nene Leakes and Tamar Braxton. And I can remember in high school talking to one of my trans girlfriends, and we could have a full conversation in a room of people by using certain words, literally talking. You could say, fish is trying it.
Yeah.
Don't nobody know what's going on. Now people gonna be like, bitch, what you say? You know what I'm saying? So everybody's in on the underground, you know, like trade is looking 12 o'clock. Trade is feeling it. Not everybody knows, and I don't know if that's RuPaul's Drag Race's fault or like what was the show on HBO Max with the ballroom? No, with the ballroom.
Legendary.
Yes, if it's Legendary's fault. But the way that we shift and dictate culture, like we are the pop culture zeitgeist. We literally, without us, if we disappeared tomorrow, these people would not know what to do. And that's specifically at the intersection of being LGBTQ plus and Black.
Yes.
And so there's so many cultural nuances to it, but I'm so sick of the perpetual gaslighting because y'all know y'all got that from us. Like certain words are so community-based and so underground. I mean, even the debate with this right now.
Yes.
You know, and is it this finger or this finger? And it means clock it and silent applause, which I understood it to be silent applause. I am not of the ballroom, but I always understood this to be silent applause. It's now been redefined as clock it, clock that T, you know.
Right.
And so, it's frustrating, but it's also undeniable. You know, we can't let the history get away from us, and we can't let people reshape and redefine it. But it's it's this constant, never-ending push and pull. Because I even think about the Black girl from Chicago that went viral when she said her eyebrows were on fleek. This was like 15 years ago. And then all of the Etsy white women put it on shirts and like, we could say anything, do anything. And like I said, we shift. We are the culture. We are American culture.
Literally.
We're actually worldwide culture because in Japan, they get perms to look like afros. And like Black American culture specifically is just, we move all needles.
Yeah, I agree.
We are the needle.
I agree completely. I feel like the exact same way in the sense that like I get certain words and terms being becoming more popularized in different shows and things like that.
And misused. Like trade. The way that they're using trade for the most basic, like white boy with a bowl cut and some boat shoes on.
I just had this conversation yesterday. I'm like, y'all are gonna just have to stop. You have to stop. You have to stop. I was having this conversation yesterday because there was a term from someone from Drag Race who is trans, who had some text messages leak of hers where she said, "Oh, I needed help." The
trade abandoned me. I definitely that came on my For You page.
I was so upset about that.
Yeah.
Not only because so many people were using the term incorrectly, but because that's such a ridiculously heartless, inconsiderate thing to joke about, because the person in question is not a very great person.
Yeah,
but this is the thing that
used the N-word before and stuff. I believe, yeah.
But this is the thing that affects people in the community, specifically trans women, all of the time, and sometimes costs them their lives. You don't even know how to use the word, and you joking about it.
Yeah,
I won't stand for it.
Yeah. And Black trans women in particular disproportionately face a brunt of the violence inflicted on the trans community. And that's also part of the debate because there are people that come into their transness, if you will, and they immediately shift culture. And we are then tasked to answer for it. When they step in doo-doo, when they misspeak, when they do something crazy, something that we would never do, we have to carry the weight of non-Black trans women in the public eye and what they do and say. And that is a disservice and it's unfair to us. And I think people know that it's unfair to us, but it's just easy. I look at like our cis counterparts and what they deal with. So it makes it double easy to throw mess on us as you know, as trans women. But I know it's been very frustrating last few years, in particular with, you know, there's certain TikTok stars and certain, like I said, non-Black trans people who have been launched into massive success.
Yeah.
And they're doing all different types of them and their team, right, are doing all different types of these missteps that don't feel authentic. I'll let that linger in the air for a minute.
Please.
It does not feel authentic or real to this very nuanced experience. And I know we're not monolithic, but I'm just thinking about the girls and boys and theys and thems that I know that are Black compared to when I'm in spaces with non-Black girls and boys and theys and thems. The conversation is inherently different. The experience is different, and the ways in which we approach our gender and the spiritual nature of it is different. But what's unfair is we, like I said, we are then tasked to answer for their missteps or their mistakes, and they can go retreat in their mansions and,
Right.
turn their phones off for a week and hope it blows over. And then I can't take two steps. I'm at the brunch minding my business. And it's like, what do you
Right.
think about what,
Right.
when she said day 26 of like, or
Right.
it's just, it's frustrating.
Can I have a margarita? And something just, yeah, sure. But hey, real quick, did you hear?
Real quick, yeah.
Bitch.
Everybody always wants a hot take, which I can appreciate. I love
Yeah.
the conversation, but everybody wants a Shar hot take. And I'm always like, well, this is off the record, but I think,
Yeah. Well, last question I want to ask, and it's a question I'm asking all guests on the show.
Mhm.
And it is, what are you trending? Now, when I say that, I mean, if you could start a trend of any kind that would go viral across the globe, what would your trend be?
Damn. My trend, if I could start a viral trend that went across the globe, it would be checking your sources before you react or post. That would stop a whole lot of stuff. Or for journalists, which I've seen some of them do it, fact checking in real time. Y'all sitting across from that man, y'all know he full of lies. Fact check in real time. Put him on the spot. Actually, that's not true. That is simply not true. That would be my trend. I'm going to put a nice little bow on that. It's checking your sources before you react or post.
Silent applause.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, ladies and germs, this has been the one and only Shar Jossell.
Thank you,
for
Fury.
having me.
Thank you. This was so fun.
Thank you for coming.
Oh, I should clap too. We do it all.
Bars. Yes. Bars. Yes. See you in a bit. I'm really excited for these guest interviews. We're going to talk to all kinds of people, probably some famous faces that you're familiar with, but I want to speak to people from all kinds of people who work in therapy. I want to talk to sex workers, porn stars. I want to talk to architects. I want to talk to producers, writers. I want to talk to all kinds of people from all kinds of lives and just kind of get a sense of where people are at, how they feel, what they think's funny, what they're trending, so on and so forth. So it's going to be lots of Kid Fury and his signature gloom with a smile. Come on in and join us. Okay? What's that man name that died? Beautiful day in the neighborhood. Beautiful day in the neighborhood. Yeah, Mr. Rogers is good and dead, but I'm here. So won't you be my neighbor? I did not watch that. God bless him. I'm sure I've heard great things about him. But as soon as that man walked in and started taking his jacket off and singing to me, I was like, this is not for me. This is not for me. I was too aware of my blackness at a very young age. I'm like, this is a white man coming in, taking off his goddamn cardigan and telling me I should be his neighbor. Why? You don't have no kids. You don't have no wife. Bitch, who are you? What do you actually do? That would be a fierce horror film. I think they already made it. I got all kinds of treats and surprises waiting and in store for you. If you're familiar with me, you already know how that goes. You can expect sketches. You might see some man on the street stuff. It's going to be just really a world of me. A world of me and a world of fun, variety. Think late night, perhaps. Like really late night. Like way past midnight. Actually, no late night shows are on it anymore. But you really, really need a bag of Takis and like a ginger ale. So come on, come along. Be my neighbor. Actually, don't. I hate neighbors. Like, stay, like, don't. But you get the picture.